your morning dose of coffee and sports. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Nice to have you with us with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Here's something from the portal, from the college football portal that will make you shake your head.
Kind of feels like a draft.
It does.
Well,
yeah.
no, teams don't get to pick.
It feels
they get
like
to pick them.
Free agency, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. I don't know if you remember this name or not. You might. He played at Oklahoma. His name is Austin Stogner. He was a tight end.
Sounds slightly familiar.
Slightly familiar, okay? So he transferred from Oklahoma to South Carolina, much like their quarterback, Spencer Rattler, did. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
At South Carolina this past year, he started 10 of the 12 games. Okay? So got to play. 20 passes, 210 yards, caught a touchdown. His best season at Oklahoma was in 2020. Caught 26 passes for 422 yards and 3 touchdowns. Mr. Stogner is going back to Oklahoma as a grad transfer.
That's fun. Mm-hmm.
Good God. I saw one.
Well, I've already told you have one of those on campus already. Drew Woodcocks with the baseball team left after his freshman year, went to Rice,
Now
played a year at Rice, and he's back with the Red Raider baseball team this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that can he make a hand for you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's a good hitter.
Okay.
I think they're going to move him to the outfield, whereas previously he was an infielder. But yeah,
I can't remember who the player was. I saw it this morning.
It seems crazy though, doesn't it? That any player would leave one program.
Yes, and then come back.
Do you think those would be bridges that would be burned? But you can clearly see that sometimes it's not like it's one's angry with the other, or maybe they just say, hey, there's not really a spot for me to play here. I can go somewhere else and play. And then later on, they, after a year, they're like, well, there is a spot now,
Yeah.
And so that things change.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
or maybe, I guess maybe you realize that the grass isn't greener.
Sure. So I guess what that tells me about him, and also, the kid from South Carolina now back to Oklahoma, is that they didn't burn bridges on their way out, that they handled it professionally.
I would guess so, yeah.
I mean, that to me, that speaks well for them, that they
otherwise neither side would probably be interested.
Yeah, I mean, these aren't difference-making guys, right? That's going to lead you to a conference or a national championship. I mean, you never know, but
we just don't know.
But I mean, my point is, and I think your point is that there's plenty of people that can help you that would be in the portal, that you wouldn't have to go back to a guy that you've already had if he or she had left you in high and dry, so to speak. I can't remember who the player was, but this guy was he's a running back leaving Oklahoma, and he thanked OU fans and Vol fans. He was like, Sooner and Vol for life. and he's leaving the team early and won't play in the bowl game. And I don't know. I guess for me at this point in time, that name, image, and likeness, I get it. These guys have an opportunity to make some extra money. College sports has been a big business for quite some time, especially over the last 20 years with the explosion of television dollars. And really you could say, maybe even going back to, the start of the 2000s. So let's just say over the last 28 to 30 years. Because really in 1999, when Spike Dykes left here as the head football coach, they had like one computer in the football office. And while the head coach was paid a nice salary, it wasn't this life-changing generational wealth that college football coaches are experiencing and basketball coaches are experiencing today. Okay, it just wasn't. And your budget for your athletic department was in the $12 to $15 million range, certainly under 20. And they were playing these games against other teams. It's all well documented to help raise money for the athletic program, much like mid-major or even FBS schools do now to help fund their athletic departments. Okay, so it just seems to me that these athletes today are going to be and maybe should be treated a little bit differently than those because they are being paid to play. And there is I think, different level of obligation. And while I understand that the risk of injury is always there, I just feel like that there should be some kind of penalty or consequence. Penalty is too strong a word. Consequence, I think, is a better word. Financial consequence if they don't fulfill their bowl obligation.
Well, first off, you called it pay for play, which we know is accurate, but it's not the university who
Right.
they hold their obligation.
I understand.
We kind of feel like it's to the athletic department or the university, not the people who are paying them.
Yeah,
those are separate deals.
I know they're separate, but it's very close tied.
I don't think anybody would disagree with you, Chuck, but I don't think anybody
It's not going to
feels
happen
that way. Yeah, I mean it's I don't think they feel like they have to. I don't think they feel obligated. I don't feel like it's something they feel they have to do. I don't think anybody's going to hold them accountable for that. I don't think anybody who's given them this money for, I mean, it's a joke to even use the term NIL because it's not name, image, likeness. It's just here. If you play, we'll pay you. I don't think anybody that's giving them that money is going to say, hey, if you don't play in the bowl game, you owe us this amount back.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. No, it's very altruistic of me to feel think that way.
I think that we all would like that, but and nobody's going to hold them accountable to that. I mean, it's just not what we do anymore. It's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody's saying Austin, he left a different coaching staff at OU than they have now. Well, there's some guys that are still there. But what I understand your point. The baseball players coming back to the same staff he left. That is very true.
Yep.
That is very true.
And that's true about Stogner. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, I didn't either. But just thinking about going back to the school and maybe there are guys that were there before, he didn't like them, whatever. Somebody wants to know if Donovan Smith's going to play in the bowl game. No. I think if he's not in the portal, he will be on Wednesday. And the only reason he wouldn't be today or on Tuesday is because it's about $3,000 in compensation that's coming to him if he's still in school on Tuesday, although he does run a risk of maybe losing a roster spot. Well, let's face it, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes conversation that goes on as well.
You would think he's already talking to other teams.
On all different kinds of sides of people. All right.
You're tuned in to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
That's not to say that they don't respect the run game that you have, but you're talking about one quarterback leading the conference in passing so far this year. And remember, he didn't start the first game.
All right.
He still played a lot, though.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
I just don't want to disappoint you. As much as I disappoint you, I don't want to disappoint you in some things that you expect from me.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Today is December the 9th, 2022. Here is Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
Going to start in 1925 because the AL extended Brad Johnson's contract to 1935 and a raise to $40,000.
Okay.
1935, the very first Heisman Trophy was awarded. Jay Berwagner, Chicago halfback. 1949, NFL merges with the AAFC. They would get the Cleveland Browns, San Francisco 49ers, Baltimore Colts, all join the league intact. Other teams in New York and Los Angeles are merged with existing units. 1965, Frank Robinson is traded from Cincinnati to Baltimore. 1984. L.A. Ram Eric Dickerson rushes for 215 yards for a season record 2,105. A year later, in 85, San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Jerry Rice begins an NFL streak of 274 consecutive games with a reception in a 27-20 loss to the Rams at Candlestick Park. 274 straight games where he caught a ball.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This just in, Jerry Rice was pretty good. 1992, Cincinnati Reds owner Marge Schott apologizes for racist remarks.
Yeah, it was a little too late.
A lot too late. And a lot too little. 2013, Major League Baseball pitcher Roy Halladay announces his retirement due to persistent back injuries. It is National Pastry Day.
Okay. Pastry sounds good.
Sure.
Happy birthday to WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle's 54. Donny Osmond, 65. Felicity Huffman is 60. Dick Butkus is 80. And Judi Dench is 88. And on this day in 1979, a commission of scientists declare that smallpox has been eradicated. The disease, which carries around a 30% chance of death for those who contract it, is the only infectious disease ailing humans that has been officially eradicated. And that is this day in sports history.
I wish I had said his name before I Googled it because I was right. At one point in time, the NFL record for catching passes in consecutive games was 127, and that was Harold Carmichael. Played for the Philadelphia Eagles and was with the Eagles in 1980 when they played in a Super Bowl. He is a Hall of Famer, and he played a little bit for the Dallas Cowboys. So anyway, I mean he finished his career with 590 receptions, 8,985 yards. I'm not saying that that's pedestrian, but by today's standards, that would be not very much. Mm-hmm. But in those days, especially playing for an NFC team. Those were big numbers, and he was a tall, lanky guy who just always had a knack for catching the football. So, but when you hear the Jerry Rice number, you just go, "Oh my God, that's just unbelievable." 6:51 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments? Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that, or the mobile app. Benchmark hotline is open as well at 806-771-0973. College basketball last night. We talked just a little bit yesterday. We have not expanded on many of the other Big 12 teams other than saying, they're off to a good start, or maybe they're better than what we thought they were, or something along those lines. Number 20, Iowa State, last night lost at Hawkeye Carver Arena, 75-56 to Iowa.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know if Iowa's any good or not, but we had kind of we had taken notice of Iowa State.
Iowa now 7-2 on the season.
Okay. Also last night, Ohio
5-0 at home.
Okay.
Yeah, so a decent team.
Yeah. And we know this, Iowa State, I mean, they always seem to have good teams. 7-2, the Hawkeye or the Cyclones now.
Cycloners had a rough first half. Got outscored 40-20.
40-20. Yeah, it's hard to come back from that. Mm-hmm. But you scored 36 in the second half. That's respectable, but you still lose by 19 points. Also last night, Ohio State beat Rutgers 67-66 on a last second shot.
That shouldn't have counted.
That should not have counted.
Because the pass right before the shot, the guy was
out of bounds.
Clearly out of bounds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we do have some games in the Big 12 tonight. Or I'm sorry, tomorrow in the Big 12. Number 2, Texas plays host to Arkansas Pine Bluff. Number 9, Arkansas hosts Oklahoma. 6th ranked Kansas plays at Missouri. Those two have not played at Missouri in quite some time. West Virginia plays host to UAB, and number 24 TCU plays I guess, crosstown rival SMU. I don't know who considers whom a rival there. Would SMU consider TCU more of a rival or TCU more SMU of a rival? Or does
I
it
would
depend on the
definitely
sport?
consider them rivals.
Yeah, I would too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tomorrow. That's an 8 o'clock tip-off. It's SMU tomorrow.
There's a bunch of Sunday games this week, too, in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm. You got
Oklahoma State and Virginia Tech, K-State and Incarnate Word, and Iowa State's back at it.
against McNeese.
Yes.
All right, just before 7, we'll talk some Tech football.
Apparently those kids aren't taking finals.
Well, maybe theirs are all online. I don't know. I've got a couple of more tidbits for you to pass along for this weekend's parties. And certainly you want to be staying tuned for that. And if you have something you'd like to weigh in on, you certainly can. Hit us up this morning on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that. It's also former Bonanza star and O'Donnell resident Dan Blocker's birthday today. Which he's no longer with us, but Haas would have been 94 today. Bonanza.
You're listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
A little bit later on tonight, we'll have the Astros and the Diamondbacks. That'll be at 8. And then the Rangers playing at Seattle tonight.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
Was it pretty big?
Yeah, I mean,
Was it impressive?
Yeah.
Was it fascinating?
It was. I thought it was fascinating. It kind of smelled, but I mean.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
I have had many an open fire. I don't think I've ever had chestnuts roasting on an open fire. I wonder what that would smell like. Think that would be a good thing? Do you think
I bet it would smell good.
maybe get some chestnuts, and put it on the fire at the casa? See if it filled the room with some aroma? I have a feeling if I did that, it would stink up the place, and then I would be in trouble.
You start a fire pretty often over there?
No, not real often. I mean, occasionally.
Like a real fire. I mean, I don't just...
You don't mean the Duraflames? Is that what you mean?
No, I meant like you just starting a fire like you sometimes like to do and then just walk away.
Oh, yeah. I've been known to do that at my own house, sure. Yeah. Create some kind of chaos and then just, oh, hey, I got to go. Got to run to the station.
Maybe starting a fire when you come out in one of your skimpy outfits. I don't even know that I know what specific chestnuts look like.
Right. I mean, can you get them at the store? I mean, can you go down to the store and say, hey, I'd like some... Think about having chestnuts roasting on an open fire tonight. What aisle would that be in? You
roast them to eat them? It's not for the smell? I assume? And they're better roasted than just plain, I guess?
Okay. I guess. I didn't know that.
All right. Well, they look like pretty much like a normal nut. So.
Yeah. But I don't care for nuts, so I would be more after the aroma than I would anything else.
I'm a big fan.
Jeff, do you have an opinion?
My brownies, my candy bars, my cake, whatever. Put nuts in it.
Nat King Cole sings it well. That's what I have to add to the conversation.
Okay.
I have never been around nor had a chestnut.
Me neither. I was just curious.
However, Nat King Cole sings it well.
He does sing it well. Right. This for the Yates Flooring Center chat line. And as a matter of fact, this was what I wanted to talk about, and I have it in my hand. This is the question from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Can you all quickly talk about Texas Tech and the Big 12 wanting the Attorney General to block their communication on the Texas Christian game? Keep seeing posts about it, but no details. Sorry if you've already discussed it. Well, we haven't really discussed it. We've commented on it a couple of times, but there's a new article in today's AJ, Jamie, about this.
Okay.
So now an attorney for the Big 12 is also asking the Texas Attorney General, that's Ken Paxton, to keep from release communication that occurred between Texas Tech and the Big 12 with regard to the Texas Tech game on November 5th against TCU. The Avalanche Journal, according to this Don Williams article, sent an open records request to Texas Tech on November 8th. It's quite common, when things take place. Many media outlets do this quite frequently. Looking for communication that was sent to or received from the Big 12 office by Kirby Hocutt, Deputy Athletic Director Tony Hernandez, Coach Joey McGuire, and football staff member Harrison Hanna between November 4th and November 8th. And so far, according to this article, Jessica Presnall, she is a vice president for legal affairs and compliance, wrote an email to the Attorney General, and she termed it the substance of the documents containing the exchanges in question. Subheads are not redacted, but with regard to the case, confidentiality of certain commercial information. Here's the quote: "The Big 12's marketplace interests are at risk. Disclosing information poses a specific threat of actual harm." Each of the subheads is then followed by blocks of redacted material. Now, during his press conference after the TCU game, Coach McGuire said that quite a few plays, close to 12, had been sent in for review.
He also
which is normal.
Which is normal.
Maybe the number is higher than
the number's higher than normal. Yeah,
but it's normal that they send them into the Big 12 to say, hey.
And some of the plays they just want an explanation on. Some of the plays they had a question of whether this was the right call, so that they know how to work with the
right. And some of it's like, hey, we want you to do something about this official that's terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe they feel like that they could be that this could come back to them in future games if this was found out that they were basically blackballing this official, or that they had reason to believe that this official was a bad official or made bad calls or was out of and who knows. It's very curious to me on this. It's quite common for entities to say, no, we don't feel like we should have to give up that information, and we're going to seek an opinion from the Attorney General. But now the Big 12's involved too, which makes it interesting.
Big 12 is involved, but still on the side of Texas Tech.
Yes,
right? That they don't want the information released.
Yeah, they don't want the information released.
I really have no idea. It seems to me like it would be something bigger than what you just talked about of, we don't want that official to not like us. Because, man, you're going to tell me that a school is going to send in complaints to the Big 12, and that official's not going to know, well, Texas Tech complained about 6 of my calls? Surely they're going to know.
Right.
So otherwise, the Big 12, if not, the Big 12's not doing their job.
Yeah.
Okay, of saying, hey, these 6 calls were wrong. Why were they? What did you do here? What were you thinking here?
But when they say things, when she responds saying, disclosing information poses a threat of actual harm. Okay, is that?
That's why this sounds way bigger than that.
Yeah.
Okay, way bigger than some official is going to not like us anymore.
Yeah. So.
And I have no clue what it is. I'll be just completely honest with you. I have no idea.
Me neither.
No idea.
It's been in the paper a couple of times, and it was in there this morning. And
do you think information like that, when the Big 12, when Texas Tech sends something to the Big 12, do you think that should be public?
I think there are times when universities or people within public entities should be allowed to conduct their business without us knowing everything until it's been fully adjudicated.
Or without us knowing it all.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. I don't know that we need to know every
single thing. Without the public or without the media knowing. Yeah. It feels like they're it's a business entity, and they're doing their business. Texas Tech is, the Big 12 is, and they're partners together and all that good stuff, and it just doesn't feel like that should have to be, out there for everybody publicly.
I think if it was something nefarious, or if it was misuse of funds or something along those lines. Okay, that might be something illegal, might be something completely different, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know what this just seems bizarre to me.
I can't imagine what conversation via text, because this is all written out, could happen that would keep anyone up at night. You know what I mean? Like, they sent in plays, they got a response.
Happens every week.
Every week.
Right.
Yeah.
The response could have been, blank you, these were fine. It's not going to keep me up at night.
Yeah, something's going on there.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it just seems a little bizarre to me. But who knows? I mean, Watergate started because a couple of journalists were curious and kept after it and kept after it and kept after it. And I get that that's kind of their job, but on the other hand, it's like, okay, why is this so important?
So is this now Colgate?
No.
Not to be confused with Colgate, which is a toothpaste.
No.
That's a university.
I just
Hamilton, New York.
I mean, it makes me curious. Okay, it makes me wonder.
Your morning blend of sports,
K-State is coming off a big win over Oklahoma. Of course, the Red Raiders off their 37-34 overtime win over number 22 Texas.
and humor.
Sure to tell them that you suggested that. And of course, that got a big laugh.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is presented by Bizarre Solutions. Call them today for a free cybersecurity audit.
I feel like we've had a good week of questions. I feel like that we've done a decent job of answering them. But what do you got for us today?
Okay, Jeff's playing the Christmas music this week, so I want to get in the Christmas spirit here.
Okay.
It's the giving season.
Sure.
So, we were kind of serious with the first 4 questions.
Okay.
So I'll get a little loosey-goosey with this one.
Ooh, I think that's our skill set. Now I'm nervous because you're going to ask me some loosey-goosey question, and I don't know if I've got loosey-goosey answers.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to pick 2 Red Raider head coaches, Coach Joey McGuire and Coach Mark Adams.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, you get to buy them Christmas presents. What are you giving? What are you giving Joey McGuire and Mark Adams? It doesn't have to be a real present. It can be something, like you could say, 100% health for your football team at the quarterback position next year, or whatever.
Okay.
So what are you giving them?
I was thinking about giving them each a supplemental gift of a radio that is only tuned to Double T 97.3 or 100.7 The Score, with a digital readout of our listing lineup for their perusal. Okay, that'd be one thing that I would really like to give them.
That would be the equal to like when you opened up socks for Christmas as a kid.
Really? Socks?
Socks.
See, you laugh. The first year I didn't get socks for Christmas, I was at the store the next day buying socks.
Last year for our White Elephant gift with the radio station, my White Elephant gift was a shower radio for somebody. Mm-hmm. I don't know who won it, but I hope they still use it. What do I want to give Joey McGuire? I want to give him the health of Baron Morton. I know that seems like low-hanging fruit, but I feel like that if you had a healthy Baron Morton kind of moving forward after a season of conditioning and lifting and getting stronger and all those kinds of things, working with his receivers as QB1, that's what I'd like to give him. As far as Mark Adams is concerned, I think I'd like him to have his players get the magic wand waved over them and not be so giving in the new year. So turn off the turnovers.
Stop being so giving.
Stop being so giving.
Mm-hmm. Don't be charitable.
Yes.
Left and right tackle for Joey McGuire.
Okay. I'm sure he'd take that.
Oh yeah. Every coach in the college football, high school football, NFL football, yeah, all of them would take a left and a right tackle. For Mark Adams, his freshmen to age faster than they can, so that they are no longer freshmen earlier in their season this year. The only thing you can't speed up is experience.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to speed up his experience.
Okay. I am going to go with Joey McGuire I would like to give him fourth quarter fans. I would like Joey McGuire and his football team to have a packed house in the fourth quarter. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, the last game of the season against Oklahoma, probably our lowest attendance of the year to start the game, and percentage of people that stuck around. I thought they stuck around the best in that last game of the year. So I was impressed. I was thrilled with all that.
And it wasn't the most pleasant, but
I thought they did it. I thought our fans did a great job. Okay, so that's what I'm giving Joey McGuire, fourth quarter fans. And for Mark Adams, I'm just going to say a team that stays together. I just got to believe it's so difficult right now to be a basketball coach that you're having to redo your roster every single year. And I'd just like to see a team grow together over 2 or 3 seasons. And so, and I know not everybody's going to stay around. Some guys have expiring eligibility. I get that. But, man, to be able to see a freshman grow and to see a team gel together and have a lot of experience together, I just think that would be great for this program.
Okay, I think we nailed that. I think they would all. I think those would be all. None of those gifts would be returned.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
no, I don't think so.
None of those gifts would be returned.
I mean, especially with the tackles. I mean, you can't make those guys leave. They're so big.
Right. Bullfighter. I'd give both coaches big men. McGuire, both offensive linemen and defensive linemen. Adams gets one consistent three-point shooter and another post player. Okay. New rule, which is an old rule for some, stay till the Matador song.
You go. I like it.
There's many people that do that. I would give Coach McGuire a top 10 offensive line, and Coach Adams would get veteran leadership to help the freshmen.
You don't think with Davion Warren and Kevin O'Banner, you don't have veteran leadership with this basketball team?
No, I'm just reading what he said. No, I think you do.
Davion Harmon.
Davion Harmon, yeah. I think that they are. I mean, I'm not there at practice and inside the locker room, so I don't know, but it appears that they are giving that. I think that they are.
Harmon looks like a great leader to me. O'Banner seems more of a lead by example.
Lead by
guy.
example, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably that seems fair, right? That seems fair. So, somebody says, "What about the jacket, Chuckles?" Well, I mean, you can't give him two.
Have you purchased the new jacket yet?
No, I talked to him about it though. So he thinks it's awesome. So he was excited about it. So, well, I'll take care of you.
I need that jacket. You like it?
Yeah,
It looks
might
good.
give him that one.
Here's my business card. You can have that. All right. Thank you. Let me know how I can help. I will.
7:39 this morning. I should have done that. That's a great suggestion off the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Give Mark Adams a true 7-footer. I missed the mark.
And as
there.
I said, that's really just a gift for Chuck.
Yeah, but I missed the mark. That was the low-hanging fruit for me.
Getting your sports day started the right way. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, breaking down the biggest games.
If Texas Tech does not win the Big 12 football conference, who are you rooting for to win the conference? if Tech does not win it this year.
While busting some chops along the way.
I hold back on sending you stuff. I mean, I'm very, very, very judicious.
We spend 3 hours a day, 5
Right.
days a week
I know.
together. Why
Yeah.
would we need to communicate during the weekends?
Right. We
Save
don't.
it for the show.
We do. We save it for the show.
Tune into the Morning Drive live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
I always like this song. 8:01 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Nice to have you with us. With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Come to you this morning from the First United Bank studio. Look forward to hearing from you today on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet97.3.com for that, or the mobile app. Benchmark Hotline is open as well. Hit us up at 806-771-0973. That's 806-771-0973. At 8:30, we will make predictions upon further review. And then we'll have bold statements of proclamation a little bit later on this morning. Just one game on the air for us tomorrow. Army-Navy will come to us from Philadelphia. We'll have that at 1 on 100.7 The Score. So you'll hear that tomorrow as you're out tooling around, maybe doing a little Christmas shopping or running errands or getting caught up maybe after weeks and weeks and weeks of football and now basketball, and you get a little respite over the next couple of weeks as no basketball this weekend in town. They'll be back in action next week. Okay?
Army-Navy game is one to me that I really have not a whole lot of interest in watching, but I would love to go to. I think it would be really, really cool to see both sides with their fans, all that good stuff. And so I respect it and all that good stuff. It's just, I don't know, not necessarily an entertaining level of football as far as I'm concerned usually.
No, I think
It's kind of pedestrian. It's like watching a groggy Big Ten game.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at the pageantry and
Yeah, but I would like to go. I think that would be really cool.
to see. I think to be there and experience it would be one thing, but as far as appointment television, it's not for me. I respect the hell out of those guys and what they're doing, and appreciate their service and all those things. And I think I'm in agreement with you. I think it's a game you probably would. It's better attended than just sitting down to watch. So it's weird because I told you no basketball in town this weekend, and there's no basketball in town next weekend either.
A Tuesday and Wednesday game for the Red Raiders and Lady Raiders.
Yeah. So Tuesday the Red Raiders play Eastern Washington at 7:00, and then Saturday they're going to play Jackson State,
That's right.
and that'll be at Delmar Fieldhouse in Houston, and then they're back at home on the 21st and play on a Wednesday afternoon, and then they play on the 27th, which is after Christmas. This is crazy. Your next Saturday Texas Tech men's basketball game is January the 7th against Oklahoma. So, because the first one, they're out of town playing at TCU.
I like the Saturday basketball games.
I do too. I like the Saturday afternoon basketball games, especially the noon tippers. I love those games.
Yeah, early the better.
Yeah. And I know it seems contradictory to how I usually feel about football. I hate the 11 a.m. football game, but I love the noon college basketball game.
Yeah,
So-
I like them both early.
Yeah, I know.
Let's do this, and then I can be at the house.
What if the house doesn't want you?
I'll go to the basement.
Okay, you got a basement. You got a spot.
Yep.
Got a spot. Lady Raiders' next action will come up on Wednesday, December the 14th against Oral Roberts. Then they'll play Monday the 19th against McNeese State, the 22nd against UC Riverside, and then back in action after Christmas on the 27th against Mississippi Valley State. So their next action on Saturday will be on December 31st. That's a home conference game against Iowa State. Their next home conference game on a Saturday will be February the 5th, and that's on a Sunday. So their next home Saturday game is February 11th.
For the Lady Raider?
Yeah. Yeah, because the way it works is you play at home on the 31st, then you're on the road at TCU on the 7th, on the road at K-State the 14th, on the road the 21st at West Virginia. You're not the 28th. You'll play the 28th at home against Baylor. So January the 28th, you go from almost a month without a basketball game at home on a Saturday.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Sometimes that's just how the old Big 12 works. So no hoops in town this weekend because of finals, and no football practice this weekend because of finals. And I guess this is that time of year where you start to go, okay, when they come back from break, the semester break, I mean, they're already ramping up for baseball. Let's not think about that. But I mean, that's when you really kind of go, okay, the season's almost here, right? When the kids come back from Christmas break, isn't that when you kind of start going, okay, time to get the pins out?
Yeah.
Right?
That's really when I start focusing on that.
Yeah. So, and baseball will start in mid February, and it'll be here before we know it.
Can't wait.
I know.
I'll be giddy.
I know. I'm gonna have my giddy.
I'll save your
meter.
breath. I'll be excited for the start of the
He did
season.
a much better job of not asking you that every week for a month.
Weeks on end. Yeah.
This past year. Mm-hmm. We should give Chuck some credit for that.
Thank you.
I think it's because you keep making fun of him about it.
Well, he was better. That's what we should focus on.
You're allowed to improve. That's what you tell me all the time. You're allowed to improve. I want to get into the Cowboys just a little bit. We'll do that here in just a moment. Cowboys take on the Houston Texans. I mean, clearly this is a game you can't lose. Clearly, right?
It's definitely a game you shouldn't lose. And if you have any hope of winning the division, playing at home in the postseason, yeah, you need to win this one.
I think
Texans are not good.
Not good. Of course, if the playoffs ended, if the season ended today, the Cowboys would be in the 5th slot. You have Philly, Minnesota, San Francisco, Tampa, Dallas, the Giants, and then Seattle, with the wild card teams being Washington, Detroit, Atlanta, and Green Bay. So you're not going to get a home game to begin things with, but you would put yourself, well, you might get a home game. Yeah, I think you would get a home game to begin things with. But I think this year it's about at least winning one, maybe two. If you win a couple, you're going to find yourself in a really good spot. But I do think that this team's got to win at least one, maybe two, to kind of continue with what they're doing.
You've been listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. For more from Lubbock Sports Station, go to doublet973.com.